Hello and welcome to Silver Wheel Tarot. My name is April. Today I'm going to be starting a deep dive into the Celtic Cross Tarot spread. This is something that I've been wanting to do for some time now. It's a very popular spread. There are a lot of variations out there. Some variations are very minor changes. Some are big changes. Some of them change the questions. Some of them have 2 cards. Some of them have clarifier cards. Like, there's just a lot of different variations on it. And being someone who loves both free form, let's see what's popping out while I'm shuffling here. 4 of Wands, nice. Okay, I love free form, you know, no layouts or spreads, and then I also love spreads as well. I like reading from every different angle in every possible way, at least at this time in my practice. And so I've been wanting to deep dive into the Celtic Cross. So I thought, what a better place to do it than here on my channel. And I will just start inserting a reading here and there that is a version of the Celtic Cross, and we'll just do a lot of different readings over time with the different variations of it. So the one I'm using today is the one in the book for this deck that I have here, which is the Wisdom. Oh, well, the book's called Wisdom from the Dragon Realms. The tarot deck is called Tarot of Dragons. So I'm going with this version. It's a very common version, it looks like, of the Celtic Cross, but I thought since I've been using this deck a lot recently, we'd start there. Got to start somewhere, right? Okay, so I did shuffle another deck and ask what question from Spirit we should be addressing in the reading today, because the thing with spreads is that usually you typically have a question in mind that you're trying to answer. It's not just a general message or reading or guidance, okay? So the topic that came up was release. So we're going to be asking, how do you let go? Whatever it is you're trying to let go of in life, it is a general reading, so it might be different for everyone, but we want to know how to let go. So I'm going to go ahead and lay out the cards the way they have them numbered. In this particular version of the Celtic Cross, they do have card number 1 as the significator. Most of the other ones that I've seen, a lot of them have, you can select a significator and then there's card number 1 and the significator goes under it. In this spread, it has card number 1 as the significator. So we're going to go with that. And because it is difficult to fit this spread in the screen, I'm going to try some different ways to be creative about how I do this row on the right side here. So I'm just going to stagger them a little bit. And then also, because it's a lot to fit into the screen, let me make sure that you guys can see those. Yes, okay. I have to have my camera like really high to get all of this in frame. Okay, so the question we have today is, how do you let go? So card number 1 on this spread, and I am going to go through with the questions and flip them over. And then, because this particular book suggests looking at all the cards together as a whole, we'll look at them as a whole before then going to them individually. Actually, a little bit typically different than the way I approach it. I usually like to look at them individually and then look at it as a whole, but we're going to give it a try. So this card number 1 is the significator, and the book definition says that this card is the atmosphere that informs the question. So the question is, how do we let go? Okay, and we have the Ace of Swords. Now, see, this is where I find it hard to, honestly, on these Celtic crosses to not look at them individually. So I think what I'm going to do is just go through really quick, and you can fast forward if you don't want to see this part, but I'm going to tell you what the questions are in the book because they vary from different Celtic cross spreads to the next. That way I can just flip them all over and we can look at them as a whole, because otherwise if I'm doing it individually, it's going to be very hard for me not to read them individually before looking at the big picture. Okay, so that was the significator, the atmosphere that informs the question. This is the opposing forces, card number 2, whether they are good or evil, and it states here that whether or not you use reversals or not, to always read this card, number 2, in its dignified aspect. Okay? And I'm just thinking, I didn't really look up definitions or anything, but when they're saying dignified aspect, I'm sensing that as, or interpreting that as the true nature of the card. So whether that's positive or negative, whatever the nature of the card is, to read it as such. Okay, and then again, I'm trying to flip them over, which I don't want to do yet. Card number 3 is the general sky that showers down upon your query, an indicator of the future if you do nothing to change or influence the path. Sorry, I said that wrong. Okay, card number 4 is the underlying influence or foundation of the query, an indicator of what is understood about the question. Card number 5, what lies in the recent past as it informs the question. Card number 6, what waits around the corner in the near future. Card number 7, yourself, the role you see yourself in the context of the query. Number 8 is the environment surrounding you, external influences or position of family and friends. Number 9, your hopes and or fears. And number 10, the outcome. And this particular version of the spread does state that if the outcome card is just way too vague of an answer for you, that you should take it and place it as number 1 as a significator and do the reading again. Okay, we won't be doing that today, but that just to let you know what this version of the deck is. So this seems pretty straightforward. It reminds me a lot of the version that is in the Wild Unknown Tarot. I use that version a lot because it's very simplified, with the exception of kind of this middle row here. It's got some variations. So let's go ahead and flip all the cards over. Ooh. Oh, try and do it in order, I guess. I want to say some of the different spreads put these surrounding cards in a different number order. I mean, they're all numbers, was it 3, 4, 5, 6, but they might have them laid down in different orders. Okay, looking at as a whole without looking at them yet as individual cards. I find that very challenging. What do you guys think? Are you readers? Do you read tarot for yourself or others? What do you think? Is it challenging to look at it as a whole without looking at it individually first? Whew. This got some heavy hitters in this spread here. Okay, first overall impression that I get looking at the cards together as a whole is a time of transformation and change, a lot of big energies. I noticed that as a whole we have quite a few major arcana cards, which there are different perspectives on the major arcana, but the one that's coming to mind right now is really that view of external forces that you don't really have control over. That's not always the case with the major arcanas, but in this case, that's kind of what I'm getting there. Overarching themes that are a situation that may be divinely guided or is just out of your control to make changes to. Okay, we've got a lot of that going on, and I see struggle in the cards. I see a lot of struggle, especially along this path here. Past, current, future, struggle. I see the beginnings of prosperity between these two cards. And I see a lot of, within the major arcanas, I mean, let's see here. That's a major arcana. That one's a major arcana. Is that? No, that's not a major arcana. That's a court card, sorry. Still coming across as very dominant energy, dominating energy, and I think that's in the external influences as well. Major, major, major. I'm getting these as very much, what was I gonna say? It just slipped my mind. I got sidetracked by this energy. So we're going to take that also as a whole for the reading and say that this external influences that you have, this was card number 8, the environment surrounding you and the external influencer position of family and friends, it's very dominating to you right now. You may or may not like that. Some people like to have external influences dominating them, but I don't feel like that is the situation in this spread. I feel like things are challenging because people don't agree with you, and you need to let it go somehow. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the cards individually, and then I might still kind of re-summarize and take a look at them as a whole after looking at them individually, because that is my preferred method. I tend to get more out of the cards that way, but we are flexible here. We are diving deep into these Celtic cross spreads, so trying new things. Bear with me through these videos. I might give a little bit more commentary than I normally do, because again, my intention here is to deep dive into the Celtic cross spread and all its variations. And I'm just going to go ahead and document it here with you guys and do some readings for you in the process. Okay. Significator, the atmosphere that informs the question, is the Ace of Swords. Our question was, how do we let go? Ace of Swords here I see is definitely representing a new thought process, a new frame of mind, a fresh look on things, a new beginning in perspectives. Okay, but it's at the very beginning stages here. Like, you haven't even really walked through that gateway yet. You're just like, hey, here's this new thought or idea or approach or path I want to go down, and you're contemplating it. And how do you let go of the past, right? So the environment of this how to let go is very much let's see, informs the question. I would say that that is the reason. It would inform the question because it is giving you the reason why you are wanting to let go is because of this fresh new start, this new perspective you have, or a new path you want to go down. Now, this is in the area of thoughts. This could be in your area of beliefs. You could be going, I wonder what this other belief system is like, or you could be questioning things, or you could also just have gotten something in a completely new perspective to the point where you're like, I want to let go of everything in the past. How do I let go of it? So the significator in that is the reason being you are going in a different direction. Okay, the opposing forces, we have the 8 of Swords here. Hopefully that's not glaring. I'll try and angle the card a little bit. I mean, it's ironic, isn't it? You want to let go because you have a new thought process or idea, but you just can't help yourself, and you're your own worst enemy trapped by your own thoughts. It's kind of ironic. It could be your thoughts around the situation. Now, this is kind of weird. This is where, having looked at everything as a whole before looking at the individual cards, is I can see it influencing my view of the cards individually, because this King of Swords here, this opposing, well, it comes across as opposing, as dominating in an opposing way, external influences, your environment. That might be why you're in this Eight of Swords perspective. And so what's coming to mind really is, how do you let go? That's our question. Well, so that you can take on this new sword, but you're trapped in this Eight of Swords. If this Eight of Swords is caused by this, then right off what I'm getting is, just don't really, I don't want to say it in a way that sounds negative or derogatory, but you can't care what other people are thinking. If you know that this is right for you and you want this, this is who you are, you know it's a new beginning, it's a new start, it's a new perspective, a fresh look on things, you know, like maybe you and all your friends love the color green, and you've decided, I want to like the color orange instead now. This is a very simplified analogy. And you know that is right for you. But now you're beating yourself up because all your friends are saying, are you crazy? How could you like the color orange? You should like the color green. We all like the color green. What's going on with you? Okay? So in that type of situation, you need to be true to yourself, honor and respect yourself and your thoughts and your belief and your perspectives, and not worry if other people are trying to enforce their beliefs on you in order to get out of this Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords typically is something self-inflicted. It's not something that you are really truly trapped in. I mean, the dragon here is wrapped up in flowers, right? He could easily, rub some of these vines against the sword and get out of it. He's not really trapped, but he's allowing himself to be all up entangled and frustrated and upset. So I'm getting to, that is the opposing energy, is that if you want to get rid of the opposing energy, the answer would be to worry about what you care about. And if other people don't like what you're doing, then it's really something they need to work on. I mean, yes, we do oftentimes, and it is good to consider other people's feelings and things and the people around you. But if you really truly believe in something and you really want to go down a certain path and it's right for you, then the others around you should also be supporting you and helping you get there. And sometimes you have to go separate ways because there just isn't a way to stay in that energy together if you're going in completely different directions. Anyways, I feel like I'm really digressing. Okay, so let's take a look. Card number 3. The general sky that is showers down upon your query, an indicator of the future if you do nothing to change or influence your path. I feel like that's just a fancy way of saying your possible near future. The Hermit card. I don't see this as a bad thing, considering the opposing energies here. So when would Hermit be a bad thing? Well, if you're self-isolating in an unhealthy way, that could be a negative thing. But in this situation, I see this Hermit as somebody going inward to find that inner light, to find that inner clarity of purpose and will and what you are striving for, to make sure you're in alignment with yourself and that you're not falsely aligning with other people's intentions, causing you this disruption here, okay? So in the near future, based on this, you're probably going to spend some more alone time than usual. Or if you have been spending a lot of alone time, you could expect to keep doing that. Okay, card number 4, the underlying influence or foundation of your query, an indicator of what is understood about the question. Page of Pentacles. You want to go on a new journey. You want to do something new. You want to do something that could bring you some prosperity or abundance. It doesn't have to be finances. It could be abundance of joy. It could be abundance of feeling fulfilled in your life. You want to go through a transformation with the bat here as well. You want that. This is what's influencing your Ace of Swords here, and your willingness then to, in the future, you're going to end up going a little bit into hermit mode, self-isolation, just in a healthy way to make sure that you're in alignment with who you are. Okay. 5, what lies in the recent past as it informs the present? The Devil card. What are your vices? What things have you allowed yourself to hold you captive? Was it the paycheck? Did you not want to let go of a job that you knew was bad for you because you were afraid of not having that level of money that you had before? Afraid of embracing a minimalistic lifestyle for a little while as you learn and grow and advance into something new? Was it fear of change? Was it a lack of self-confidence? Or maybe you had confidence and then you let somebody chain you down and believe that you didn't have confidence in yourself, and so you had to re-find it and re-establish with yourself who you are, which would make this Hermit card much, much more important and understandable why it's there. So this Devil card I'm reading as really the things that have held you back in the past. The reason that you're coming to this is you let yourself get into a situation where you let either your vices rule your environment, or you willingly let someone dominate your thought process, tell you what to think, how to be, who you are. This is who you are. You think you're this, but no, you're not. And you let that happen. Or maybe it's not a matter of allowing it to happen. Maybe it's something that caught you off guard and you got sucked into it, and it took you a while to realize that you allowed yourself to be put in chains, and that you could really let yourself out of those chains anytime you wanted if you were willing and brave enough to do it. Okay, that's what I'm getting from that card. Interesting. Can't say I've really read the Devil card that way exactly before, so very cool version, I think, also. Okay, and then we have card number 6, what awaits around the corner in the near future? This is where I love this card. the Nine of Wands. You know, a lot of times people will explain this card as the wounded warrior, and I will use that as well because it's this image of someone who has been through battle after battle after battle after battle. But I feel like sometimes calling it the wounded warrior gives it a negative connotation. When what I see in this card is someone who will not quit. It doesn't matter how many times other people knock you down, you're going to get back up. And not only that, but anybody who really knocks you down is actually doing you a favor because you have this innate ability to take that experience and put another notch in your belt, another notch in your belt, another experience that you've grown from. You, what people may not realize, have had a lifetime of overcoming battle, overcoming adversity, overcoming a struggle, finding a way over another mountain, and it has done nothing but make you stronger. And now you pick up this ninth wand, and you know, like secretly inside, you're like, yeah, I might look worn out and tired on the outside. They may think they have defeated me, or they may think that I'm being foolish, okay? But you know deep inside that you are a strong, fierce individual, and that everything you go through makes you stronger because you are not a victim. You have this growth mentality, which is that everything you go through makes you stronger, and it makes you like a phoenix. Let that fire burn you to ashes because you just come out better after it, over and over and over again. And that is what I see in this card for you. So this is beautiful to see in the future position because with the struggle, whether it's self-inflicted here, from the past, being in a situation, and your current struggles mentally of your situation, which again, I am feeling strongly is coming from these external influences, right? You've decided and you know, and you've taken this new Ace of Swords, but you know that it's a little bit of a challenge because you allowed yourself to get into this position here, or, you know, life allowed you to go through this as a lesson, okay, in order to be able to pick up that ninth wand. And you know that it's a bit of a struggle to go from here to here, battling with knowing that people are going to disagree with the direction you're taking, to then picking up that wand. But the second you pick up that ninth wand, you know it's a done deal, okay? This experience is that eighth wand, and now you're grabbing the ninth one. You've already moved past it. So our question of how to let go, you know, is making sure you're in alignment with yourself, releasing and let go of that past struggle, that wand number 8, and pick up your new wand that you bring with you on this new journey, on this Ace of Swords here. Okay. And so beautifully we have here in the 7th card, yourself and your role as you see yourself in the context of the query. Justice. Yes, it's going to be a challenge at times. You are clearly doing what is best for you, getting into alignment. You want to change. You want a journey. You want a life you can enjoy. You want that transformation. You've got your mind in the right place to begin, and you're going to be going inward to be in alignment with that. And this here, because of all these, I mean, I say external, but what I mean is you've made these choices, and that has created the environment. So we create the environment we are in based on choices you have made, okay? So that has brought you to this point of justice. It is the reality of the situation, is that you are going to balance your life out between the mystical and the mundane, between the work life and the home life, between having a life you love to live while taking care of your responsibilities. You are going to rise above the turbulence and the chaos and the struggle because this is who you are now. Okay, so there is not really any way to change that. So even if this external influence here, other people's thoughts and opinions and maybe disagreeing with the direction you're going, or they think you're being foolish or whatnot, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I mean, a major arcana card, has more influence over you than a court card here, right? Than someone else's opinion. This is you at this time embodying who you are. And so this isn't going to be able to stop you, whether they want to or not. At this point then, based on the judgment, setting healthy boundaries for yourself and making sure that you have some compassion and understanding in that balancing act here of how other people are feeling, but ultimately you are going to do what is right for you. Okay? And you're going to find a way to do that that is the smoothest way possible to, hopefully not hurt others around you who feel like you're not maybe making the right decisions in life. But keep in mind that you need to be true to yourself here. So if your heart is in the right place and you're doing your best to not offend others or to understand others' perspectives, but you know who you are and you've set your path forward, you got to make sure to set your boundaries, okay? And at that point, if others are not happy with your boundaries, you got to ask yourself, why is somebody not happy with the healthy boundaries that I'm setting for myself? There's a meme out there that I love that usually says something along the lines of, the people who have a problem with you setting boundaries are the ones who are taking advantage of you not having boundaries before in the first place. Okay, so maybe they've got some life lessons to learn around that if your choices hurt them in some way, but it's not your responsibility to make sure that they are learning and living through their life lessons appropriately. They need to take accountability for that themselves. So yes, be kind, be compassionate, be understanding, but stand up for yourself. Be who you are and walk the path that you want to learn to lead. Okay. Next is our hopes and fears. Temperance. It's a balancing act. You might teeter between a fear of not being able to balance everything and feeling like you've got everything in balance. Balance, though, that's a funny thing that's coming to mind right now, is that balance is not static. It's not. Balance is not equal parts of right and left or black and white or up and down. Balance is always kind of shifting and changing and moving. Okay? And it's temperate. Hence, we have temperance here. So I'm going to say this is more in the hopes area, hopes and fears, not in hopes, but it is a hope to be able to really get that feel for the constant minute shifts and changes and adjustments that need to be made when they need to be made to keep things balanced in a way that help you to basically alchemize your situation and maneuver the the challenges that come your way with struggles with maybe other people's or other perspectives, while at the same time staying true to yourself. I see this as a very positive card. Temperance is the card of, I believe, fire and Sagittarius. So it is very much a active, moving energy. But the sense here is that you want to have an amount of control over your movements. Think about what you're doing before you do it. Think about what you're saying before you say it. Maneuver wisely. This is how you're going to bring that balance in with the ever shifting landscape that you're in. So I believe that's a very positive message right there. It's a sign that you're going to be able to do that. Okay, so stay confident in that area. You will be able to maneuver through whatever you need to. All right, and then last but not least, we have the outcome, which is the Knight of Pentacles, which is beautiful. I see that this is shining a light down on your path. I see you progressing, because we have from the underlying influence was the Page of Pentacles, and the outcome of this situation is the Knight of Pentacles. Positive progress, movement forward in the right direction. So, in being able to let go, yes, you're going to be able to let go. How to let go? Stay in alignment with yourself and who you are. Make sure you are setting healthy boundaries. Remember to pay attention to what you're thinking, what you're saying, what you're doing as you're doing things, right? Don't be rash. Look at something and think about it before you say it. Think about it before you do it. You have an Ace of Swords here. It is a beginning. That is a time before you do any action to shift, change, bring balance, alchemize anything. Stop and think. Okay? So I'm seeing this Ace of Swords as a new beginning here, which is a gift. It's a new mindset. But also, with anybody who is new to something, it takes a little bit more thought process. You have to be very intent on what you're doing. So in order to make sure that you're staying in alignment, that your boundaries are set, that you're moving from the Page of Pentacles to the Knight of Pentacles, and you're overcoming these challenges and as compassionately as possible, maneuvering around or through or with, these external influences, opposing thoughts and opinions and perspectives. The way you let go is really to be adaptable with all of that, to stay in alignment with who you are, but be willing to make the minute shifts and changes that you may have to make along the way in order to get where you're going. All right, well, I thought that was a pretty great Celtic cross. It's very similar to the version that I'm used to using. It's interesting that this version doesn't really give me any kind of time frame. Some do and some don't, and I know that in other versions, I really kind of like it when it gives you a little bit of a time frame for the reading itself. But I have found in general that typically for a Celtic cross, if it's not indicating, like say this is 3 months from now or this is 1 month from now, if it's not dictating a time frame, I would say this is probably over the next 30 days for you or so. I would give it about a month. That's my typical go-to for a Celtic cross, is 30 days, 1 month, somewhere around there, unless the spread itself indicates otherwise. All right, let me know what you think. I am looking forward to doing more of these Celtic crosses. They may be a little bit more longer format because, like I said, I might get a little bit more wordy with diving into my thought process in it. Let me know what you think of that down in the comments, and I will see you all next time. Be blessed.